Colombia Bilingüe reduces bilingualism to the learning of English by Spanish speakers, disregarding the linguistic complexity of the country and perpetuating inequalities in terms of linguistic prestige. Currently, ELT in Colombia is about bringing and applying international methods so that teaching English is more effective. The ELT process is identifying learners' exposition to the language, including in the media, and the situations where they will use and the corresponding speech acts set as clear routes to design courses, competencies, materials, policies, and pedagogy.
Nosotros entramos a clases, hablamos en inglés, respondemos en inglés, lo que no entendamos nos lo explican en español y hace unos meses llegó una profesora de Nueva York a explicarnos más el inglés, aprendemos muchísimo mejor y pues me gusta.
Now let's talk about the colonization in education, and for this part we want to show you the Colombia Bilingüe program. It's made to help students in the educational system communicate better in English. Mastery of this language will allow Colombian students and teachers to have access to scholarships in other countries, great mobility and better jobs opportunity, including in Colombia. According to Gonzalez, Colombia Bilingüe is a representation of colonial, traditional, and central discourses in ELT.
Welcome to our talk show. Today we're going to talk about culturalization in English learning teaching. And for that we have an incredible guest that knows a lot about the topic. Please receive Nicole.
Hi Rachel, thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for coming here. We're going to talk about culturalization in the ELT field.
Thank you, this is a really good topic to talk about.
Yeah, right. Now, let me ask you this. And for all of those that are watching us at home, please answer this as well. What things of our culture have you been taught throughout the years, and how much of foreign culture as well in your English learning process?
Not really. That I remember, they didn't teach me anything about Colombian culture. Mostly for American culture, like speech, or different accents, or different expressions, or include different traditions of America. And this is serious because this is our culture, and this is important to maintain.
Yeah, that is a really interesting point of view. And as you said, we don't talk about enough of Colombian culture. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being in the talk show. And tomorrow, please be aware of this show, because we will have another interesting question about English learning teaching, and we have another guest. See you! But what does it have to do with deculturization? Please let's talk about that. The deculturization, and also known as deculturization, refers to a process which a dominant cultural society expresses its influence and control over less dominant or marginalized culture, often leading to the erosion or loss slatters cultural identity, practices and values. This concept is closely related to cultural imperialism. Now, what do we talk about the specific concept about this is to give a little context of what we're talking about, but what does it have to do with the ELT field? Well, we can contextualize that is the process by which the teaching English, or the learning process as a second foreign language, is influenced by foreign speakers and foreign culture. Also is influenced by language hegemony, but we can also mention some items that come related to the deculturalization of the language, that are the imposition of cultural norms, are also the language hegemony, referring that the English is often positioned as a global lingua franca language. We can also see that such as business, academia, and technology can create pressure for individuals to prioritize English over their native languages. So what they basically do is to doctrinate the students by the language. putting us the position that they are right and the only thing that they say is the right thing to do. We have here an article by Danny in 2008 that basically says, and I'm gonna read it, that stratification of languages, groups, and cultures, and the systematic exclusion of less powerful groups and individuals, in the case of Colombia, within the context of the national bilingual program, the situation of indigenous language and cultures become more worrisome. Why this? Because of the doctrinization of the same language that has been created over the last years.
Well, guys, the question is, how were you taught English in school?
Well, I learned English when I went to Canada for 3 months because my school took us there to improve our accent, learn idioms, and have standard English.
Yeah, my school did the same, but we went to New York. I think everyone should do it to learn about the culture.
No, qué putas. They didn't even take us to the park and they gave us worksheets. Re maricas.
Have you thought about improving your accent?
No, cuz. Why?
Because your accent is like, I don't know, like,
¿Baila?
yep. But give it a try so you can have a good English.
I have vocabulary and, well, I can communicate well.
And for Jap,
They don't help me because my accent is too exotic.
oh,
In Colombia, some schools teach science and math in English, implying that conducting research in Spanish undermines their credibility. Well, the same happens in bilingual schools, where only English is taught and Spanish is included. This results in the loss of the traditional linguistics and culture, such as expressions, simply because they are classified as commonplace in very some cases. Even elitist because their phrases are only used by individuals from lower social strata. As the Mejia says, in really bilingualism is internationally prestigious languages, particularly Spanish, English bilingualism, has been privileged. This is seen as providing access to a highly visible, socially acceptable form of bilingualism, leading to the possibility of employment in the global marketplace. As a result, English is gained privilege over the local language and it begins to adopt it as the standard. In actually, proficiency in globally renowned has been given preference, marginalizing certain communities that lack the opportunities and resources for foreign language learning.
Welcome back to our talk show. Today we're going to talk about the marketization in the ELT field, and for that we have another guest that comes directly from Uniminuto University. Please receive with a round of applause, Joan!
Hola Miguel, muchas gracias por invitarme.
Gracias a ti por venir, Joan. Now, I'm gonna ask him about what platforms does he use to learn English or have him used to learn English in the ELT field, of course. Entonces, Joan, ¿qué plataformas usas o has usado para aprender inglés?
Pues yo la verdad cuando estaba empezando a aprender inglés no llegué a usar tanto las plataformas porque no tenía tanto el conocimiento sobre qué plataformas usar o qué métodos podía usar. Pero mediante iba pasando el tiempo empecé a usar archivos de biblioteca en inglés que me ayudan, no sé, palabras desconocidas, a mejorar mi gramática. También suelo usar algunas plataformas para aprender vocabulario, para practicar el speaking, que es una de las cosas que más se me dificulta, ya que pues si no practico la gramática que aprendo, pues no me serviría de nada. Entonces, pues yo suelo usar esas aplicaciones o plataformas.
Ok, ¿y qué tipo de plataformas has usado?
Pues yo la verdad uso plataformas como ELT, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, y otras plataformas estadounidenses o británicas.
Sí, eso es muy cierto. Últimamente solo he visto que las universidades o colegios públicos implementen solo ese tipo de plataformas. Es cierto. Muchas gracias por venir. That is a wrap for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching Talk Show that we're talking about the marketization of the English language teaching field. Thank you so much for watching. See you the next time.
Regarding the ELT materials used in Colombia, the trend towards importation is also to be observed, although the progress with the edition of the local textbooks has to be acknowledged. Following the businessification and corporatization of ELT, most of the textbooks used in Colombia are global textbooks edited in the USA and UK. This kind of materials favored by private institutions which hold a significant share of the Colombian ELT market. These global textbooks can also be found in some public universities. According to Tomlinson, these books are commercial products that haven't been written from learners from a particular culture or country but intended for use by any class, level, or age. Also, they are not adapted to Colombian learners.
The deculturization is manifested in various forms, such as the separation of English learning from local culture and context, resulting in lack of cultural integration. It also leads to missed opportunities for connecting language learning with students' everyday lives and experiences.
When English is not taught in element with the context uniformly across the educational institution, it becomes elitist and exclusionary, treating individuals without reserve differently due to their way of speaking both English and even Spanish.
On the other hand, the worldwide demand for English language learning, due to its status as a global language essential for international business, communication, and education. Consequently, there is an ongoing expansion of the market for English language teaching services and associated products.
Dale, para.
Wow!
Fue puta, me salté una parte.
And math in English?
Thank you so much.
No.
Hi Miguel, thank you for...
Welcome to ELT in Colombia.
You are a rock star in my eyes. You are the queen